Yes. Okay, good evening.
That's right. You're getting a big boy.
This is the March 20th Vision Committee meeting. It's 4 o'clock, the magic hour. The room is packed with empty chairs, and
You didn't have to clarify that.
I didn't have to clarify that, so a lot of interest. Before we get going, has everybody got a invitation for the 12th Annual Fremont Hall of Fame banquet?
No? Were we supposed to?
Oh, I got mine.
If Councilperson Cochran and Gonzalez would join our meeting, we'd appreciate it. If Councilperson Gonzalez and Cochran would join our meeting, we'd be happy to have you. Yes, you're paying attention. I just wanted to ask if everybody got an invitation to the 12th Annual Fremont Hall of Fame banquet. They'll be inducting Dr. Lana Carter, Char Lindner, and Brendan Pardue. If you'd like to go, let me know. Okay. It's Friday the 26th, 2019, so.
Don't we have something else that day?
The 26th? I do, but I think it's a closing.
Pretty warm day. I got a rec center meeting.
The rec center meeting,
What time's the rec center meeting on the 20, is it the 26th?
6 to 9.
Oh,
April.
whatever, John.
April 26th.
Details.
6 to 9?
6 to, no, is the rec center,
Okay.
yes.
The rec center is March the 26th.
March 26th.
It's just,
Can leave early
it's
if
just
you
a
feel-
matter of
feel
difference
like
of
you need to.
month.
You guys always are.
Okay, you're still reeling from the long meeting Monday night, right? Okay. So, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Cochran.
Here.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilmember Hamrick.
Here.
Councilmember Jaquez.
Here.
Councilmember Meisner.
Present.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith, absent. Mayor Troutman.
Here. Okay. So the discussion is continued from the March 6th, 2019 General Government meeting in consideration of reorganization and clarification of portions of Title 19, in parentheses, drainage, Title 20, stormwater, and Title 21, floodplain management regulations. I believe, would you want to make some kind of comment before we get going, or does everybody have a copy of the changes and everything?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I can, kind of. So as you recall, this is the last couple of pieces in the Title VIII reorganization. These components are in Title VIII right now, and so we're recommending they be moved to other sections of the code. You may remember several months ago, council requested that they be separated out into separate titles, and so that's what's being presented to you today. And Adam and Glenda are here to walk you through it, so.
All right. I'm excited now.
Well, how do you want to do this? Should we just go page to page? Are there questions that council has that you would like to start out with, or?
Well, what's worked in the past, we just buzz through the pages.
Okay, let's do that. Would that be okay with staff? Or do you want to make some comments before we go?
That's fine.
Is it okay?
Yep.
All right, good. Well, we're in agreement. All right, let's go to page 50, which I have X'd out. Does that mean it is hereby removed, because that's 15, so 15 will be moved
Yeah.
to 19?
No,
You've already done that section.
you've just already done that section, so I was making sure we didn't rehash that. Just start
Okay.
at the bottom of page 50.
Where it's
You don't want to do it again?
Okay, good. Okay. Drainage at 19.10, the purpose and intent.
Yeah, so real quick, just some background on this. So this is the biggest, newest part that we're going to discuss today. And what it consists of is a discussion about how drainage is handled and how the responsibilities are divided between the city and private property owners, and then how that is enforced. So there was a section in the current 12.16 under gutter and sidewalk maintenance, and with the changes that we're making in Title VIII, that section will go away with the changes in Title VIII and this chapter here, because they're splitting the responsibilities of who oversees the maintenance of those elements within the city right away. And so in that existing language in the code, it's pretty vague on how that is addressed as far as drainage along the boundaries of property and who's responsible and how it's enforced. And so right now we have a policy and procedure in place, but we wanted to better define that in the code, and that's been on the list of things for the city to do for some time. So this is the perfect opportunity to do it, since we're separating the drainage elements out of the rest of the code. So that's just the background on it. Now we can go through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Hamrick?
Yes, I noted that we're adding the definitions to be in compliance with the EPA, CDPHE requirements. Are all of the definitional changes from them, or did we add some tweaks for ourselves?
For this chapter, for chapter 19,
For the definitions?
The bulk of those are ours, as far as definitions. But then when we get into definitions and chapter 20 and 21, those are from the feds, for the most part.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. And another just general question. So in the whole, stepping back a little bit and looking at these regulations, are these gonna materially affect the county in any way, in your opinion, Adam, do you think?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't, if you're referring to whether the county's is an MS4, or whether there's any new regulations as far as that's concerned, the state general permit really didn't change, but a lot of the language changed, and some of the requirements for our permitting, reporting and those sorts of things changed. So it really doesn't, that's just kind of our permit, and whether the counties are permitted, it's all status quo still.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Meisner?
I'm on page 51, sir.
We try to be on the same page, you know. I just had a question, understanding the chronology of what's going on, is we're going to do some COPs, so we're going to have new regulations. Will those bids for what we're going to do conform to this if we pass it?
This won't have anything to do with those projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those projects, will the requirements be from the previous rules, or does it have nothing to do with it at all?
Nothing to do with it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the only way it may tie in is that, so if we're putting a new storm sewer in under 9th Street, under the road infrastructure, that storm sewer, because of where it's located within the right-of-way and what infrastructure it supports, that will be city's maintenance, not the
Okay.
adjacent property owner. So that might be kind of a way to look at it. But if someone has an irrigation lateral outside of the road infrastructure but in the right-of-way, that culvert exists for the enjoyment of that property owner. So that's why the maintenance then lies upon that adjacent property owner.
Okay.
And that's what this chapter addresses.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, so we have then gone from 51 to 52.
Oh, wait a minute.
51. Bingo, Mr. Meisner. Oh, I'm sorry, your light went on. Okay.
It works.
You gotcha.
I've extinguished your light.
Okay. It doesn't, item H, hypothetically, not hypothetically, if this were in place now, would the culverts that are in discussion up in Dawson Ranch be private culverts?
No, because the culverts that we're looking at doing in this CIP project cross the public infrastructure. They cross the road. So
Okay.
any culvert, regardless of whose water it is flowing through the culvert, if it crosses
Right,
under the
okay.
public infrastructure, the government takes care of it.
I'm off subject, but that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
the way to
realize
think of
those-
it is, so the public's driveway is crossing the culvert, that means we maintain it. If the private driveway crosses the culvert, that means the private property owner maintains it.
Makes sense, thank you.
Okay. 52.
Yes, I have a question.
Mr. Hamrick.
Okay, so I'm looking at when we first starting to talk about curbs and gutters, and it says all occupants are required to keep curbs and gutters for drainage that may extend along any highway. So is highway defined somewhere? Is that different than road, or?
Yeah, I think that's just a generic term we use for road.
Yeah, it's used interchangeably in Colorado.
Okay.
Go
But,
ahead.
you know, if you'd rather see a different term there.
It confused me too.
Well, I
I'm
wasn't.
sorry, what'd you say?
It confused me too.
Well, we could put right away. Is that,
I would think roadway.
Yeah.
or road?
Roadway would work.
Roadway would work?
Yeah.
Okay.
John?
Yeah, that sounds better, because highway, I had the same question, what does that mean? Does that mean US 50 only, or what?
I think to, common layperson, that would be an issue, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then it goes on to say at the end, so that there will be no overflow of water therefrom. Okay, we're talking about curbs and gutters.
Yes.
So as long as the roadway from the curb to the crest is full of water, but it's not overflowing, it's not a problem?
No, I would say if it's leaving the gutter, so if there's an obstruction that's causing the water to leave the gutter, if it's just a big rainstorm and water's everywhere, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is where they have an obstruction, they haven't kept it cleared. And there are people that put things and objects in the,
Okay, so
In the flow line.
I would suggest perhaps so that there will be no bypass of water, because the overflow, it was a confusing term to me, and I don't know, I mean,
we could put overflow of water,
because we're talking about a curb
Yeah.
where there's an obstruction right next to the curb that diverts the water out some way.
yeah.
Or it could back it up. That's my only
Or back it
concern
up.
is that it could
Yeah.
just back it up. Adam, what do you?
Can I help?
What if you just put a period at free flow? Clear of all obstructions to the free flow of water, period.
Or water therein or something. That, that free flow, that
that
works for
work for
me,
you?
because it was confusing as to, if I don't have overflow, do I got a problem or not? you
Yeah,
know?
yep. And then we're back again to that definition
Yeah.
of how much is overflow, yeah. Okay.
Mr. Meisner?
Well, John answered my first question, but not to bring up my street again, but I think what they call, is that a Hollywood curb on my street?
Probably, yep,
That, so if somebody's parked in front of my house
yeah.
during a rainstorm of medium magnitude, the wheels of their vehicle cause that water to jump the curb into my yard.
But the parking is a legal activity, I guess. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that an obstruction
Yeah.
that's caused by you or that you have to solve under those circumstances.
But if you're parked there and the water's running through my garage, I have a different view.
Well, but this is just into the public right of way.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying, is that,
This is not a private right of action here that
Yeah.
you would have some means to sue me because I parked my car there and water went into your garage. This is just into the public right of way.
the highway is also in 91060A also.
Yeah, so that might be global.
okay, good catch. Yeah, we'll just do a search for highway.
Are we on 53? Let's go to 53.
And I do have a question.
Mr. Hammer, go ahead.
So applicable construction activity, that's a definition that we put together, is that correct?
That comes straight from our permit.
So
That-
that's
okay.
state language. yeah.
So that is state language?
Yes.
Okay. I would suggest the second sentence where it starts applicable construction activities, that be put in quotes again.
Okay.
Wouldn't you put quotes at the whole paragraph if that's a necessity?
Well, I think,
Well, so when I read
paragraph?
it, and I read applicable construction activity, I wasn't sure whether I was reading a description or a defined term when I was reading it.
That works.
it's kind of one
Yeah,
of these
you-
things the Supreme Court has to rule.
Well, you have, but you start out with,
Good job on that.
with quotations, but there's no ending quotations, I guess. I'm not a grammatician.
On A?
Yeah.
Well, it's right
Starts-
after activity.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. All right. Okay.
And it would be after activities. It would start, John's suggesting before applicable and then after activities, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So just know we're referring to that term, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to 54. Any comments? Mr. Meisner, quit beating on your box. Mr. Meisner.
Item G, I think is that a new term? Because I couldn't find it in Google.
Yeah, that's what FEMA's moving to now. They've trained everybody to say BMP for
No, no.
30 years.
Item G,
Oh, G,
construction activity, shouldn't that say means?
Means ground, I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
Because that word I couldn't find anywhere. I figured it's one of those
surround,
atom
means
words
surround.
that you threw out there for us.
Means space ground.
Okay, so it should say means ground, right?
Yes.
Means
Yes.
space ground.
Right.
Yep.
Means ground.
And then item L, that vegetative cover has been established with an individual plant density of 70%?
Yep. That's the law.
That's a law? I
Yeah.
mean, okay, so we can't. Can we
That's
pass a
how,
resolution?
That's how CDPHE defines it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to 54, 55 rather.
The good news is around here, 70% is not very much.
Yeah.
And weeds count.
Up to a certain height.
Don't tell the weed board that.
That's Title 8.
Okay, let's go to 55. Any questions there? We see all the strikeovers and everything. Pretty common verbiage. All right.
Based on Councilman Meissner's suggestion, we should probably then put the second sentence, the first three words, land disturbing activities, in quotes again, based on
Sure,
your,
that'll work. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to,
So, quick question,
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
Land disturbing activity, would that be like a mudslide?
With that what?
Would that be like a mudslide?
No, this is man-made stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
let's go to 56. Page 56. Mr. Meisner?
56, item 2. This is another Google question. Second sentence, operated, I think in the space is in the wrong spot there.
yes, I identified some corrections there. It should say included conveyances that are owned or operated by the city.
So the space needs to be moved,
Yep. Speed type.
taken away. And then item V, where we've crossed out individual and person or entity, I think the who should stay in there. If you read that, if you pick the sentence back up, it,
Yes, and I identified that
Okay.
also.
We're moving on to number 57, page 57. Not much there. Pretty standard stuff. Okay. Let's go on to 58. Only one sentence there.
So these all, the next couple pages, these exclusions, these were all changes made by the state as far as things that are excluded from those activities.
And we're required, if we don't put them in our ordinances, then we're required to enforce against them.
And we'd rather not.
oh, I see.
Okay. So do we really need to do anything on 58 and 59?
Unless we made some more typos.
Okay. Shall we move on to 60? Let's go on to 60.
I did note one small change in 2010-70, threatened discharges A, second sentence. It should say the MS4.
Into? Right,
Into the MS4.
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay. How about 61? There was only one addition there.
I just have a question.
Yes, Mr. Hammer?
So this is a question that it comes from my industrial background, and I just want to see that's how the city views this, but what does immediately mean?
I believe with the CDPHE, it's within 24 hours of a spill. So they are required to be notified within 24 hours of a spill.
So we're talking stormwater regulations or discharge regulations by CDPHE. I know that under CERCLA, immediately means as soon as a responsible person knows about the spill. It does not mean check with management, you know, it does not mean go up the chain of command, see if it's okay to report. It means right away. And so that's why I'm asking the question.
I believe in the CDPHE's actual spill reporting requirements, it says within 24 hours of being discovered.
Okay, thank you.
So if that's what it says, why don't we say that then?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever time frame you want is, just
Okay.
write it in there.
All right, 62. Any questions there? Corrections? Let's go to 63. A lot of strikeouts there.
Is the item C requirement changed, is why you're striking it, or?
It was something actually that we copied from CDOT. It's unnecessary, it's not required, and we didn't really adhere to the policy ourselves. A lot of the local contractors, it was, you know, it's a burden to go to Denver and get certified by CDOT once a year, and it's not necessary, so we struck it.
Okay, let's go to 64. Not much there. Any questions on it? Let's go to 65.
Couple typos there. No, we fixed those ones. We got a couple.
I have, under B, second sentence, certificate of occupancy shall be granted. The city shall perform an inspection. And then line 5, we have shall in there twice, so one should be struck, just for syntax.
It's a stuttering typewriter.
Okay. Any other comments on 65? Moving to 66, nothing on that.
Oh, there's no red in there. What's wrong?
There's no red.
7?
How can we function? 67 has no red unless someone has a comment on it. 68 has no red. Oh my goodness. 69 has no red. 70 has no red. 71. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we
strike
took
two.
out community and added city.
Yeah,
Right.
the model floodplain, when you get those regulations, they just put a blanket term community in there, and you're supposed to put in your city, county, whatever, and so that just
Okay.
got left in there, and so
Okay.
I just suggested we take it out.
Okay. 72. Again, no red ink.
Yeah, I don't think we have any more.
But we have
Well,
blue,
little-
we have blue ink. We or alphabeted the paragraphs.
With getting rid of Q, we had to
Right.
renumber all those. Looks like the next red line's on page 80.
All right, let's just do that. Unless someone has something between now and 80, let's move right on to 80 as fast as my fingers will move. All right, let's go to 80. No comments? Thank you. Number 81 has no color whatsoever. Black. The word draft scared me initially because that's how I got into the military. Okay, let's move on.
Some of us didn't find it.
I did get a letter, by the way. Okay. 85 has some red, and that just added provided by law. Comments? Let's move on. There's nothing on 86 or 87. And when it's all one color like that, I'm making the assumption that was pulled verbatim and put into the new title.
That is correct.
Okay, just want to clarify that. Thank you. 90 has nothing, 91 has nothing, 92, that's all, we had this before, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99. Is anybody going to holler bingo? All right, nothing. 100 has section 12 crossed out, and that's what we did. We just took them out.
Yeah, those are just minor cleanups at the end of the ordinance.
Okay.
Apparently, there's a long way to read that.
We have now since drained the red ink. Oh, that's drainage. Wait a minute, okay. Any questions of anybody? So, this will come completed, ready to go.
So here's my
Go ahead.
Here's my plan, let me know what you think, because now we have a full copy red line version of the entire ordinance, and so there's going to be some different colors in there, because you came back to Title 8 quite a few times, and so we want to show those different changes based upon when you had the discussion. So you'll see red lines, you'll see a couple of colors highlighted, so you know when those changes were made, and I'll lay that out for you in, a memo or an email. And then we'll have a clean copy of the entire ordinance. So you'll be able to still have that red line and a clean one, so.
Yeah, we asked for that, I think. I appreciate that. Thanks, Catherine.
So I don't know when you'll actually see it for first reading, but probably not the 1st of April, so.
We'd like to have a few quiet council sessions. So. Anyway. Any other questions, comments? Did everybody get a copy of the new schedule? Okay. And then you'll let our city clerk know about whether you would like to have the presence at the Hall of Fame banquet, so we can figure out, okay? Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Both of you, appreciate it again. We are now adjourned.
Super.